There's a kind of woman you notice more and more as the years go by, not less. You see her in her late 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and beyond. And something in you goes, wait, why does she look softer, brighter, calmer? How is it that time seems to be adding something to her instead of only taking away? It's not just that her skin looks good or that she takes care of herself. Plenty of women do that and still feel like their light is fading. With her, it's different. There is depth in her eyes instead of bitterness. There is a softness in her face that hasn't collapsed into defeat. There is a steady kind of glow that has nothing to do with filters and everything to do with what her soul has been quietly doing for years. Women like this have started to live from a different center. They're not cloying to stay young at all costs. They're not trying to be who they were at 22. They are in conversation with something inside them that most people spend their whole lives running away from. And that conversation creates a rare inner quality that changes how they age. Before we go further, pause with me for a moment. If you've ever felt like, I don't want to just get older, I want to grow into a version of me that actually glows from the inside, then type the word ageless in the comments. Just that one word. You don't have to explain your age or your story. You're simply marking this moment with yourself. I want to age differently. Not by fighting time, but by aligning with my soul. And if you keep landing on videos like this, exactly when your heart needs words, take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next time your spirit needs a reminder like this. At the end of this video, a playlist will pop up on the end screen. Save it. When you're about to sleep tonight, let it run softly in the background. Your body will rest, but your subconscious will keep listening, keep softening, keep absorbing these truths into the deepest layers of you. Now, let's talk about this rare inner quality that women who age differently tend to carry, often without even realizing it. The world will tell you that how you age is mostly about products and procedures. And yes, there's absolutely nothing wrong with skincare, movement, taking care of your body. That's part of honoring the home you live in. But you've probably already noticed two women can have the exact same routine, the same access to beauty tips, the same age on paper, and look completely different energetically. One looks tight, resentful, constantly fighting the mirror. The other looks relaxed in her own face, even with lines, even with changes. What's the difference? The rare inner quality is inner reconciliation, not perfection, not endless positivity, not pretending everything is fine. Inner reconciliation is the ongoing, brave decision to stop living at war with yourself and start making peace with who you are, what you've lived, and who you're becoming. Most people never do this. Most people age from a place of accumulation, more grudges, more regrets, more unprocessed hurt, more self-criticism, more stories of what should have happened. A woman who ages differently, the way your soul secretly longs to, begins to age from a place of integration, not accumulation. Piece by piece, she stops exiling parts of herself. The younger version of her who made messy choices. She doesn't hate her. She learns from her. The shadowy parts of her that get jealous, petty, insecure, she doesn't deny them. She owns them and works with them. The parts of her that are tired of pleasing, tired of being the strong one, tired of pretending not to care, she doesn't shove them back down. She listens. This inner reconciliation does something to her face, her posture, her energy. The tension she used to carry in her jaw from constantly biting her tongue begins to loosen. The hardness around her eyes from all the times she felt unseen starts to soften. Not because life suddenly got easy, but because she stopped telling herself that being unseen meant she was unworthy. The way she walks changes. There is less sharpness, more steadiness, as if she's not dragging herself through life anymore, but actually walking with herself. If this is already stirring something inside you, If you can feel places in your own life where you've been aging through inner war instead of inner reconciliation, take a second and like this video and subscribe if you haven't yet. You don't have to do this alone. Sometimes you just need someone to put words to what your soul is already sensing. Inner reconciliation is rare because it asks you to do something most people avoid. It asks you to stop building an identity around your wounds. For many women, the main inner storyline becomes, I am the one who was abandoned. I am the one who was betrayed. I am the one who never got chosen first. I am the one who wasted her best years. These stories might hold some truth. You have been hurt. You have been overlooked. You have made choices you'd never make now. But women who age differently refuse to let those stories be the final definition of who they are. They grieve fully. They admit it. Yes, I was abandoned there. Yes, I betrayed myself there. Yes, I lost time there. But then they ask the harder question, and who am I now beyond that story? That question alone starts to lift years off a woman, because bitterness wrinkles the spirit before it wrinkles the skin. When you carry secret bitterness against time, against life, against your body, against men, against other women, against yourself, it shows in your eyes, in your mouth, in how quickly you snap, in how tightly you hold on. Inner reconciliation doesn't mean pretending none of it happened. It means refusing to stay frozen there. The woman who ages differently learns, slowly I can honor what I survived without making my survival my whole personality. I can carry wisdom from the fire without smelling of smoke for the rest of my life. That shift is more anti-aging than anything you can buy. Women with this rare inner quality also make a subtle but powerful move. They stop measuring their life only by outer timelines. How many kids do I have by this age? How far have I gone in my career by this age? Where are my peers compared to me? What do women my age usually look like, live like, have? Those questions don't disappear completely. We live in a world that constantly shoves comparison in your face. But something deeper starts to matter more. Am I more honest with myself than I used to be? Am I kinder to my own body than I was 10 years ago? Am I less willing to stay where I'm not respected? Is my inner life richer than it used to be, even if my outer life doesn't look like a movie? This is moving toward becoming who you actually are, not who you were told to be. And that kind of aging, where every decade brings you closer to your real self instead of further away, creates a brightness nothing else can replace. Think of the women you know who seem to glow more at 40, 50, 60 than they ever did at 20. They may not fit the teenage definition of beauty, but there is something in them that feels finished in the best way. Not finished as in done with life, but finished as in done with pretending. They are done twisting themselves into shapes that don't fit. They are done begging to be seen by people who refuse to look. They are done hating their faces for showing signs of a life actually lived. In the middle of messy, ordinary days, they choose small acts of loyalty to themselves. Drinking water instead of only running on caffeine and adrenaline. Going to bed instead of doom scrolling through people's highlight reels. Saying no to drama because peace looks better on them than constant argument. Letting themselves laugh loudly, dance badly, cry openly. These choices sound small, but repeated over years they carve lines of softness into a woman's face. The forehead that used to be permanently furrowed with anxiety relaxes more often. The mouth that used to clamp down and suppressed rage smiles more easily. Not because everything is perfect, but because she's not holding her truth like a prisoner anymore. If this feels like the kind of woman you're trying to become, even if you feel far from her right now, pause and type ageless in the comments if you haven't yet. You're not declaring that you're already there. You're declaring that somewhere inside you want inner reconciliation, more than you want to keep fighting yourself. Women who age differently also change what they worship. In earlier years, you might have worshipped approval. If they approve of me, I'm okay. If men still find me attractive, I'm okay. If I look young for my age, I'm okay. But approval is a brutal god. It devours energy and never feels satisfied. A woman who ages differently begins to value something else. Truth. Truth about how she feels. Truth about what she wants. Truth about what is and isn't working. Truth about where she's been lying to herself just to keep up an image. That truth telling is terrifying at first, because once you admit, this relationship is shrinking me, or this job is draining the life out of me, or I am numbing myself through habits I pretend are harmless, you can't unknow it. Your body starts to protest louder. Your mind starts to replay the cracks. Your soul starts to ask, so, what are we going to do about this? Most people shut that voice down. Women who age differently, who carry this rare quality, slowly stop shutting it down. They still get scared. They still delay. They still bargain with themselves. But over time, their commitment to truth grows stronger than their fear of change. That's why they start looking different. You can tell when a woman has made a habit of lying to herself. Her eyes dart away from certain topics. She makes jokes to cover real pain. There's a stiffness, a tightness, let's not go there, in her energy. You can also tell when a woman has started to build a habit of being honest with herself. There's more alignment between what she says and what her body reveals. She can admit, yeah, that really broke me, without collapsing into it forever. She can say, I stayed too long, without living in endless shame. That alignment is the rare inner quality. It's the soul no longer scattered into 1,000 masks, but slowly gathered piece by piece into one integrated woman. As this happens, a woman becomes less identified with her roles and more aligned with her true self. The deepest self doesn't age like the body does. The self deepens, widens, ripens. So when a woman's sense of identity starts to shift from, how young can I look, to how honest, how whole, how aligned can I be, her outer aging begins to reflect inner ripening, not just wear and tear. That's why some 60-year-old women feel ancient and sour, and others feel like clear, strong rivers you could sit by for hours. It's not luck. It's inner work. It's inner reconciliation. You might be thinking, but I've wasted so much time. I've been at war with myself for years. Is it too late for me to age differently? That's another lie the world feeds you, that your chance at a beautiful life expired at some random age. The truth is, your inner life is not on social media's timeline. Your soul does not care that you didn't figure it all out by 25, 30, or 40. Your soul cares that you start, at whatever age you are, turning toward yourself instead of away. The moment you begin to reconcile with yourself, instead of constantly rejecting yourself, something in your aging begins to shift. You might still see lines in the mirror. You might still see gray hair, changes, softness where there used to be sharpness. But your eyes will start to look kinder. Your expression will start to look safer to yourself and to others. Your presence will start to feel like a place, not a performance. If your heart is whispering, I want that, even if your mind is skeptical, take a breath. You do not have to fix your entire life tonight. You can begin very small, by catching the moment you call yourself ugly or old and replacing it with, I am changing, and I choose to treat myself with respect. By noticing the moment you reach for a distraction because you don't want to feel lonely, and instead honoring the loneliness for 60 more seconds before you numb it. By telling the truth to yourself 1 inch more than you did yesterday. This is where the rare inner quality is built. Not in dramatic speeches, but in tiny, repeated acts of self-honesty and self-respect. And each act all by itself doesn't look like much. But over months and years, they become written into your face, your eyes, your energy. That's why some women in their 50s suddenly start looking more beautiful than they ever did in their 20s. Not because of magic, but because they finally dropped enough false versions of themselves to let their real essence show. If this spoke to something deep in you, don't forget to like this video and subscribe so your future self has somewhere to come back to on the days she forgets how far she's come. And now, as you're listening toward the end, I want to speak directly to the you who looks in the mirror and sees only what's wrong. The line on your forehead that tells the story of all the times you worried about everyone but yourself. The softness on your body that tells the story of survival, of pregnancies maybe, of stress, of comfort eating, of late nights. The tiredness in your eyes that tells the story of how often you showed up anyway, even when nobody showed up for you. You could stand there and judge her. Or you could stand there and finally reconcile with her. You could say, "I'm sorry I've been cruel to you. I'm sorry I believed you were running out of time. I'm sorry I've spoken to you in ways I would never speak to a friend. I am older now, yes, but I am also wiser, deeper, more awake. From today, I choose to age as a woman who walks with herself, not against herself." That decision is the beginning of aging differently, not aging less, aging truer. Aging as someone whose soul is catching up with her body, not lagging behind in an old trauma. If some part of you is ready, even 1% ready, to make that shift, type ageless in the comments now if you haven't already. Let it be your small declaration, I'm willing to reconcile with myself. And if this message wrapped around your heart, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and tap the notification bell so you don't miss the next soul level reminder. When you're about to sleep tonight, that's when the old voices often get loud. You're behind? You've wasted too much time. Look at your face. Instead of letting those voices run the night, give your subconscious something else to drink. The playlist is at the end of this video. It will pop up on the end screen. Hit play on that playlist and let it run softly in the background as you drift off. Your body will rest, but your subconscious will keep listening. Keep loosening its grip on shame. Keep rewriting the story from, I am running out of time, to I am ripening into who I truly am. Save the playlist, fall asleep with it, and let these messages sink from your mind into your soul until one day you catch a reflection unexpectedly in a shop window, a bathroom mirror, a selfie you didn't over-edit, and instead of flinching, you feel a quiet, surprising thought. I look like someone who has lived. I look like someone who has loved and survived and learned. I look like myself. And she is aging beautifully.